Satellite Live. Satellite Live. Satellite Live.
Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to Satellites Live, the youth work online for just a little bit longer of St Mary's Reigate. I'm Martin Saunders, I'm the youth worker here at St Mary's, literally here at St Mary's because I'm in the church centre this evening, and with me is Hannah.
Hello, welcome everybody.
And over there is Charles, who is in the same building as me. But like a scene from a sci-fi movie where we're sort of separated by an airlock or something.
It's like a rom-com. You can see each other, but you can't touch. Can you go hand to hand and have a moment?
It's not at all like a rom-com.
It is like a rom-com. It's more like a rom-com than a sci-fi movie. It's
no, because he's like
friendship.
Through the airlock, and if we open that door, he's
on the other side
space.
of the door, and you can't quite reach him.
No, it's a sci-fi film.
It's a rom-com.
Just to be clear. I mean, Charles said he wanted to do that. I'll be honest with you, I'm not quite sure why. But, no, he's gone. Well, he's coming back now, because he is in the same building, as you probably just worked out. He's in the same building as me, but because of current protocols, he's on a different floor.
I can still see his little head in the corner.
He's still there. So I've come to a particular TV show a little bit late, but do you think that Charles is turning into the sort of baby Yoda of Satellites Live? Like, you're not really sure. He's sort of just there trying to look cute, hard to understand. And I could imagine, like, quite a big marketing line of little Charles dolls. I think people would go for them.
Charles Bobblehead, I can see that. Like his head
Charles
on the top of your cup.
Charles Bobblehead, I would buy.
That's perfect. He can't hear this, so,
No,
I mean,
this is great.
What
Charles Bobblehead.
What is he doing?
All right. Just to remind you, I'm in the centre. So the most entertaining piece of sort of imagery or furniture that I have to look at is this heat miser, and that's it. Oh, hang on. He's walking through the airlock. Oh.
I couldn't get the candle to work.
Well, that's
That is sad.
But the lighter wasn't on.
that's very kind of you.
It's all right.
We did stay 2 meters apart thanks to that contraption, which you've just. That's extraordinary. Did you see what he just did there?
That was
He was
beautiful.
unable to light the candle. But
Can you
that's
blow it
okay.
out? Say happy birthday. Hey!
But look, he had a 2 meter stick to hand it to me with. That
What
was
did
very,
you wish for?
That was very. Oh, I didn't make a wish because this is a Christian.
Oh yes, of course.
cast.
Sorry. What did? Yeah.
What did I pray for?
Happy
did you
birthday! There we go. Yay! Okay, and Charles is on his way back. Gorgeous. Okay.
Oh, brilliant. By the way, we've got Ollie with us. You may have noticed
Yes.
that.
So I just
But,
joined since Charles left, you know.
No, thanks.
I'll be his
You've been
voice.
always threatening to do that. To be fair. So we've got loads coming. Oh, he's back.
I'm here.
He's back.
I'm here.
Thanks, Charles. That's kind. I'm gonna eat
birthday.
this. Dairy milk caramel cupcake.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thanks very much. So we've got loads to get through this evening, and including a couple of Kahoots and loads of me and Charles talking about stuff. Your interaction required. And first, we're going to do some notices. And I've just realised I'm doing the first notice. So, very quickly. First of all, the other big thing we're doing at the moment is Burnt Breakfast and Bible. We do that every Sunday morning at 10 till 10:30. It's a really wonderful time. We have about 20 people on the call, so it's not weird and embarrassing. It's not just you and me. But you can come and we'll do a little Bible story, we do a game, and we pray for each other. It's really fun. Come and join in. You just need to sign up, or your parents need to sign up on Church Suite to make that happen. It's every Sunday at 10. And then at 10:30 every week, there's still church online, which is happening in St Mary's services, finding lots of creative ways of meeting together, even though we can't meet together. But hopefully, before too long, we will actually be together physically again. Hannah.
Yes. Martha's written a book and it's gorgeous. It's really helpful in two ways because one, it gives you a little bit of the heart behind what we're doing here, both on Zoom and when we're eventually back in person, what we aim to help you guys achieve and like what we want for you, because it talks really, I want to say in a nice way, but that sounds very patronising, but it's in a really understand way, that wasn't understandable. It was, hang on, I can do this sentence, give me a minute.
Come on.
In a really understandable way, it tells you how you can make Jesus and your faith part of your everyday life and how you can put him at the centre and then what that can look like. It's really, really helpful. And it's got a little, I'm not going to be able to find it, that's too stressful. It's written to the St Mary's Youth, so that's gorgeous. If you go and find it, it's on all good bookstores. Now my chin's on it. Charles, can you do your notices now, please?
Yeah, I'm actually out of breath. I know it's been like 5 minutes since I got back, but I'm still out of breath. WhatsApp! It's an app which you can communicate on, and you can join it. And we have our own WhatsApp groups for year 9 to 13s and for year 7 and 8s. You can join it. Ask Martin for link to join. And Instagram, we're on the Insta, as the young people say.
Do they, Charles? Do they really?
And we do post content on there. We have exclusives. So far, Game Time has only exclusively been on Instagram. Maybe tonight will be the change. Maybe tonight. And we also put up stories, and we had a story today which was to say happy birthday to Martin Saunders. Let me just read out some of the responses. 1 second, should have had this bit more prepared. Someone said happy birthday. Someone else said happy birthday, Martin. I hope you have a wonderful birthday. Another person said happy birthday to my birthday twin. All of my memories are my favourite, but some of my favourites are definitely from Soul Survivor 2019. So there you go. So you can join us on Instagram, and you could leave a birthday message for Martin there as well if you want to. And finally, are you wanting like a 5-minute hit of truth and knowledge and wisdom? If so, then you can get that every single day. And it's called Orbit. And it's a podcast especially for you guys. And it's written and produced and edited and talked by Martin. And he does a really great job, and they're really useful and really succinct and challenging, and they give you a challenge at the end to, like, yeah, it's applicable. It's not something that is just, it goes into your brain, but it's something that you can actually apply to your life, which is incredible. Yeah, so really good, and we really recommend that. And you can get that on Spotify. How fancy is that? Or you can find it on the St. Mary's website.
Great stuff. Thank you, everyone. And just to say, we are making plans now to be back together and relaunch physical satellites in the building. I know we've mentioned a few times that we've been trying to do this, but that's what the last year has been about, I guess. But we're really confident this time we're going to be able to do it. So after Easter, we are looking at restarting groups in person, and we'll be sharing way more details about that in the weeks to come. But now, I thought it might be fun to do a Kahoot. Who's up for it? I predict a spate of Baby Yoda / Charles crossover names here.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that now. I hope so anyway.
Charles, can you
So-
put the water bottle so that your face is Yoda, just so Martin can picture it? Can you just do that for me now, please? Like, put the water bottle so that Yoda's head is...
That's
Yeah,
perfect.
it doesn't really work, does it?
Doesn't
No.
quite work. I'll
Not
see.
really.
Perfect. I'm going with it.
Give me like a few seconds.
So, if you would like to be on the Kahoot this evening and take part in the quiz to win just pride, really, the code is 20122722, and we'll just start seeing people arrive. Ollie, who have we got?
Well, we have some familiar names. We have Geo the Great. Baby Yo Charles has just joined us. Baby Charles has joined us. Mandalorian has also joined us.
Cupcake on a stick.
That is a great name. That is phenomenal.
What's up? Is there? I see. Well
I
done.
love that. I love that
Someone's
so
paying
much.
attention.
School's
back.
back! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Well, that's good that you're excited. That's great.
We've got Moff Gideon there, which is there's the baddie from The Mandalorian.
Ah,
You know.
I didn't know that. Happy
No
day,
sign
Ma.
of Heat Miser yet. I haven't seen.
We have Happy Day Ma. So,
Happy Damer.
I hope you're
Happy
having a
day,
happy
Ma.
day, Ma. And we have Satellites fan. We have a fan. What?
Oh,
We have
that's
fans.
nice.
That's exciting. Big
Great.
is back.
Look at this. Charles is number 2 fan, and Charles is number 1 fan, and yet it's not Charles's birthday, is it? Haps Martin. That's nice. Grogu, not Baby Yoda. Yes, we know. Sorry.
I
Yes,
see.
very sorry about that.
What's Grogu?
Grogu's the actual name of the character.
Ah, I see.
And here is what has happened.
That,
Thank you, Charles. That's so much better than the water
Yeah,
bottle.
okay.
that's
Yes.
literally Shrek.
Yeah, it was quite hard to draw.
Shrek. It's Shrek. It's not Baby Yoda.
Yeah, okay. Right. The art isn't my thing.
Oh dear. That's not good for me. Oh dear. Right. Shall we? Are we core? Do you think? Is that everyone? Good. All right, I'm looking forward to seeing who wins this tonight. The quiz tonight is all about technology. Let's start. So we're talking this evening about technology and our approach to it over the last year. Obviously, it's been a big part of our lives, even more so in different ways. So we thought we'd do a little quiz to find out how much you guys know about all sorts of areas of technology. It's 8 questions, same as ever. And here's question 1. In what year was the first video game, Tennis for Two, invented?
Aw,
That's a sweet name for
that's a lovely name.
a video game. Was it 1925, 1958, 1969, or 1980? Tennis for Two. Have you ever played any of the early sort of tennis games?
Bongs and stuff. No, I haven't actually.
It's just
Yeah.
that. Looks like me dancing.
I've been watching because I'm boring. Oh, never mind.
Oh, look at that!
Wow.
1958 was the correct answer. How's that kicked off the scoreboard?
Wow. Well, Passing It Dad is currently our first place leader, closely followed by Charles, who's number 3 fan. Only by 3 points. That's wow. And Baby Yoda is in 3rd, followed by School's Back in 4th, and Mandalorian in 5th. Wow.
I think it's okay to be Charles's number 3 fan. I feel like you don't want to be Charles's number 2 fan. That could be misconstrued. Let's move on.
Yeah.
You might want to dump that name. What's the maximum number of hashtags you're allowed on Instagram? Hashtag Hannah, hashtag Ollie, hashtag Charles, hashtag Martin, hashtag Satellite. See how I write the quiz? Is it 10, 20, 30, or 40? So you know that at the end where people put a ridiculous number of hashtags
Oh
underneath.
yes. Oh, that you can see posts where they literally do like 1 million. Oh, like, there you go.
Oh,
It's
no, you can't. They literally can't do that.
Yeah. Well,
What you mean is 30.
I mean 30. 30's a lot though, especially if
It's
they're
a lot.
like you can get like we are like that's multiple words, you know. If you do that for 30. Anyway, carry on.
Have we got a hashtag for satellites? Can we think of one? Can that be a thing?
There is kind of there is one,
Like-
but it's kind of linked to another thing now.
Well,
I can.
Let's see what's happened to the scores.
wow. Parsnip Dad is still in first, but Mandalorian is in second now. School's Back is in third. Cupcake on a Stick is in fourth, and the Jacobinator is in fifth.
Well done. Pretty close. And look at that, up 3 places. Beetroot is the highest climber. That actually looks like gardening commentary.
Wow.
Right, let's move on. Question number 3. What percentage of the world's games consoles sold in the last 7 years are PlayStation 4s? You know about computers, don't you, Charles? What do you reckon it is?
Ask Ollie, who's like the
Yeah, but he really will. He'll just know the answer. 27%, 50%, 69%, or 82%. What do you think, Charles?
I've been quite high. If you said PS5, I would have been like 1% because they haven't got any out.
No one can get one.
Yeah, they should
Yeah,
have
one.
stock everywhere.
So, what's your guess?
62.
I think 50.
That's not one of the options.
It's not one of the options.
I can't read. I'm just guessing.
Oh, baby Charles.
That one.
It's 50%.
Yeah, that's what I said.
50%. Only 4 if you got that right. Isn't that interesting? I mean, maybe it's not.
Wow.
It is actually.
Okay, so who's got that right? Let's look at the scoreboard.
Have a look. Oh, well, Beetroot maintained their streak, I think, and is now in second place. And our fan is now in fifth. So, there you go. We got a Satellites fan, Charles. I think you missed that.
Actually, not much of a gap between 5th and 1st there at all.
No, it's only separated by 21 plus 29.
No. Anyway, let's let's move away
Oh,
from
no,
maths taking a beating. Let's see what the next question is. Please.
87. There you go.
Oh, Ollie, come on. Right, the LG Corporation produces electronics and telecom products, but what does LG stand for? Ollie, would you read the options, please?
Oh gosh. Lozaku Tola. Yep. Linda Gunman. Lucky Goldstar. And Looking Good.
I got really excited because I thought I knew it, and it's not one of the options, is what I thought it was.
Also thought, Hannah, I feel confused now.
I thought it was Life's Good. I thought
No,
that
that's
was...
just the tagline.
I thought that was the same as well, Hannah. I
The
got it
right
right.
answer was Lucky Goldstar, Hannah.
But did you see 11 people went for Lozika Totola Gola Selakan, which I just made up?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Well
have it.
done.
Wow.
Well done to the 7 who got that right. Let's see what that's done to the scores.
Let's have a look. Oh, big upset. And Charles's Cupcake on a Stick is now in first. And the Jacobinator is in second. So, oh, and Martin's #1 fan
Yes!
is up 7 places. So that's
Thank
great.
goodness for that.
Wow.
Thank goodness for that. Right, question number 5. We're halfway. What is Twitter's character limit? I could have asked, what is Twitter? But what is Twitter's character limit? Is it 100 characters, 140 characters, 200 characters, or 280 characters? Ollie, you a big Twitter user? You're down with the kids?
Well, you know, I do like a bit of Twitter here and there. Yep.
Hannah, do you
I've
tweet?
never been on it. If someone
Oh.
says something silly, I have a little look on, but I don't have an account.
Oh, yes.
Isn't it just a lot of people with opinions? That's quite...
Yes, it's basically just...
You're on it, aren't you, Martin?
Let's move on. Oh, look, 11 people got that right. 280 characters. Yeah, they doubled it a little while
Oh,
ago.
that's a lot. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Let's look at the scoreboard.
Oh, well, School's Back is now in third, and Lily has moved into fourth. And it's very close between our second and fourth positions. But Cupcake on a Stick seems to be running away with it a little.
I feel
Anyway,
like that needs to be a chain. Cupcake on a Stick.
Cupcake on a Stick would be a great chain.
What's oh they've got they pulled away there. I won't ask you to do the maths.
Loads of
what's-
candles. Loads of candles. Is that
What's the next question? Do we have the
it's
next
the highest
question?
climber? Well done. Let's do it. Moving on.
What is the name of the spaceship in Among Us?
Oh gosh.
Which one?
Is it the Skeld, the Big Dipper, the Adversus V, or the Orion?
Wow.
What do you
I
think,
don't know
guys? Do you know?
I know now.
I have no
I've-
idea.
No.
I
I
quite
know.
enjoy Among Us. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you know the name?
Yeah.
And what about you, Hannah? What would you guess?
Orion? That sounds spacey.
Does sound
Ah,
spacey.
It's not.
Look, we didn't fool many people with that, did we?
Wow. Clearly they have all played it. Wow. 24
No.
of them.
Let's see what that's done.
Oh, Martin's number one fan is back on.
Aw.
Beetroot is now in 5th as well, and Charles's fan is the highest climber. So.
Did I miss something with Beetroot, by the way? Was that a conversation? It's just
No.
random. Okay, I was
Slight
just checking.
Beetroot, maybe.
Fair.
You know, could be anything.
Beats.
Yeah.
Beats.
2 more questions to go. How long are Instagram reels? I don't know this. I had to look it up. 15 to 30 seconds.
Well-
30 to 45 seconds. 45 to 60 seconds, or 1 to 2 minutes.
It's neither. It's none of those. But you know.
None of those.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Well, it's. Yeah.
What's the answer, Ollie?
Well, it can go up to a minute, but it can also be. I mean, it could be. Technically, it's 0 to a minute because it could be any time between that. But most of
Great.
them are like it. You can either have it set to 30 seconds or set to a minute, but it could be any time within a minute. So technically, all of them are right.
Well, that's great news. Thanks, Ollie. I think.
Instagram stories.
Look,
because that's only 15 seconds, and that's not any option.
Can we let's have this out now, right? Okay, because I know we're going to get emails. People
Oh,
get very
wait,
upset about it.
No, I'm wrong. But you are also still wrong. Okay, so it's between 0 and 30 seconds. So
Are you sure? So you
Yeah,
can have
no, I'm
you can have an
sure.
Instagram reel that's less than 15 seconds.
yes,
It's a reel,
yes. So
it's a
it's
reel
either
of story.
15 or 30. I reckon people in the comments are telling us.
Yeah, a reel is like TikTok.
Oh yeah, I'm
but for
right.
Instagram.
Yeah,
Who's right?
me. Oh, you're
Look.
definitely wrong. I think I'm a little bit wrong, but also right.
What? Hannah,
I
what's
don't-
the answer that he's put here?
Well, 15 to 30. So
Technically, he's right.
technically, kind
It's
of.
definitely none of the others. All of the others are wrong. This is the
Yeah.
most right
Yeah,
answer.
true. It is the most right answer. Yeah. I'll give
Well,
you
then
that.
what are you moaning
Got your
about?
back, Martin.
True.
Thanks, mate. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Apologies if you got that wrong.
Wow. Well, Baby
like everyone got that
Yoda
right.
is the highest climber. So.
Oh.
Could you, Charles?
Baby
We
Shrek.
reckon you can probably do the voice. Can you do the voice?
He doesn't really have much of a voice. He just
does,
makes
little
baby
voice.
noises. A bit like.
Well, go on, make a baby noise.
Oh dear.
Is that
You
good?
really will do anything I tell you to. Let's move on.
You didn't give me any criticism. Now I'm just
Oh,
going to
last
wonder
question.
whether that was good or not.
It was
Okay,
really
double
good.
points. Double points. What did gaming company Nintendo originally make? Did they make watches, playing cards, board games, or switches? It's double points. It's actually from a long time ago, 1889 it was founded. So what did they make when they were originally founded? What kind of company were they? What did they make?
Yeah, it is that.
It's fascinatingly interesting.
I've
isn't it?
literally just watched a documentary on it. That's what I was going to say earlier. Is I've been watching a documentary on video games
Yes.
on Netflix. It's good.
Console Wars.
Ooh.
And it was playing cards.
Wow.
Can you tell us a bit more, Charles?
No, not really. If I'm honest, I
Okay.
just kind of watch it and let it wash over me.
Well, you're watching the documentary. I'm actually currently reading the book
Oh,
of the documentary, and so I can tell you that they were beautifully hand-painted playing cards. That there's a whole story about, which I've realised no one's interested in. So let's see.
Not even slightly.
Let's see who's won this week's quiz.
Have a look. Wow, in 3rd place was the Mandalorian. Well done. In 2nd place was the Jacobinator.
Oh, very strong.
Well done. And with 7 out of 8, in 1st place was Cupcake on a
Cupcake on a
Stick.
stick.
Wow. Well, that is brilliant. And Martin's number something fan, I assume, was in 4th. So.
I only had one fan,
Yeah.
to be fair. So thank you for playing along. That was really fun. Sorry for any confusion around the Instagram Reels thing. Clearly, once again, I'm an old man, even more so today, and I do not know what I'm talking about. So that was great. We are going to now hand over to our much more able speakers and co-hosts, Martin and Charles, who are going to bring us the first part of this evening's talk about technology.
There's so much content online that I want to watch, but there's too much. How do I have time? Oh, dearie me. And you're about to recommend me another Netflix series,
I
aren't you?
always do. And you
Oh.
never watch them.
I never watch them because I don't have time. My watch list is just filled with series, movies, forever. Like, it just goes on. I'm like, oh, that's nice. I'll put that on. I don't know whether you're the same, but...
Yeah, I think I'm always spending time browsing through Netflix and other services. Do you know the average person spends 20 minutes just looking through Netflix.
I can believe that.
Trying to find something to watch every week.
And what's worse is I go through my watch list and I'm like, I'm not in the mood for that tonight.
Yeah.
And there's things that I've sat there for like since Netflix came out that I've just not bothered to watch yet. My point is this, Martin, is that technology is huge and we have this sort of entertainment anxiety over what we can watch. Like, you know, there is a real thing when someone goes, oh, do you know what you should watch? And then suddenly your heart just goes, no!
Yeah, I've got no more time in my life.
Well, I can't watch that. That's 7 series of 22 episodes for an hour each. Like, I haven't got time for that. And you know, and when lockdown happened, I'll tell you, my first thought was, this is my dream. Because I'm an introvert and I like spending time on my own. And the idea that I would be able to just sit at home watching Netflix all day.
Yeah. Seemed like a dream.
It seemed like an answer to prayer. I honestly was so excited. I didn't account for that I'd still have to be working.
Yeah.
And that other things would still go on. But, you know, as lockdown has continued, I'll be honest, I've kind of gone off Netflix and Disney Plus and all these sorts of things. And there's shows that come along that I'm like, oh, that's exciting. But I've just become fatigued with the screen.
And hey, it's not even just TV shows and movies. There's also, you know, I know everyone needs to call me granddad these days, but when I was a kid, like you went and bought a CD and you listened to an album a few times. Now you've got access to the back catalogue of every artist ever. Video games now are streamed. You subscribe to Apple Arcade or PlayStation Plus or whatever, and you've just got this massive archive of games. Like, there's just entertainment overload. How are you going to fit it all in?
Oh, that's it. And like, you know, technology used to be a treat.
Yeah.
I remember, oh gosh, I sound old, but we used to get the picnic rug out.
Oh, did you?
And we would sit in front of a TV watching Ant and Dec Saturday Night Takeaway, and we'd have some food. And and it was a Saturday treat. Like we weren't like a family that watched TV that much.
Yeah.
But it was a huge treat. But now it's like this oversaturated thing.
Yeah.
And especially since COVID, you know, now
Yeah.
if I want to see you or, you know, anyone, Zoom.
Yeah.
It's just become so much. So, what was your relationship with technology before COVID?
Okay, so give us your response to that question in the comments on the WhatsApp group or using Poll Ev. And the address for that, remind me, Ollie? poll.ev/Satellites Live. Brilliant. Okay, but Hannah, we're going to start with you and ask you, what was your relationship like with technology before the pandemic?
The only technology I have, I don't really do games or anything, I just do my phone. And within my phone, I only have Instagram. So Instagram and WhatsApp is the extent of my technology. I was probably a bit too addicted to it, I think. Probably.
I mean, it sounds quite disciplined if you've only got Instagram and WhatsApp. You're not somebody who finds yourself flitting between loads and loads of different screens all the time.
No, but I can spend quite a lot of time scrolling down one screen.
Do you stop when you get to the, you know, on Instagram, if you get to the thing that says you're all caught up?
Yeah, and then I go
stop?
to TikTok, and then I just start scrolling down that one.
Oh, you didn't talk about TikTok? You just thrown that in. That's a
Yeah,
new one.
yeah, I do. I have TikTok. Anyway, yeah, I think I
I
probably
think if
used
we
it a
keep
bit too
digging, we'll
much.
find more here. Okay.
Wait, hang on a sec. Is YouTube also an app?
Okay, great. So let us know in the comments or on WhatsApp what was your relationship like with technology before. So you've got to think back to the first time before masks, before social distancing. Bit of a long time ago now. What was it like then for you?
I need that.
So we got some comments coming in,
I can see
or
some
just
typing.
Mandalorian gifs at this point. I think it's coming. I can feel people are getting ready to tell us everything.
So Hannah, do you not watch like Netflix or anything?
I don't have Netflix. I have iPlayer, Instagram. This is really boring for anyone watching,
No,
but no
it's
one's
fine.
replied
No,
yet.
no,
I
we're
have
fascinated.
Instagram, iPlayer. I have TikTok, but I don't post anything. I just watch other people. I have Facebook, but only for like people I used to babysit for. I have on Facebook. Yeah.
Well,
I
you
don't
just
really
have a
use it
Facebook of people you used to babysit for.
No, I just.
And a babysitting group.
All right.
Okay.
That's sweet. That sounds like a sort of.
As in, it's a different generation that uses Facebook mostly. It's
Oh,
not,
you mean the older generation?
I mean, it's kind of people in their late 20s rather than their early 20s that use Facebook. Like you, Martin, people in their late 20s. Okay.
I feel like I just want to talk about the fact that I'm literally on the cusp of being a Generation Z and a millennial. So I also have Facebook, but I don't really use it very often. And I'm not in my late 20s yet.
We were talking about this earlier, though, weren't we, Charles? That you are both very, very old and very, very young. Like, people will often mistake you for being under 16, as has famously happened.
Yeah.
But also, you have an old soul. So you're in fact, in many ways, you're Baby Yoda. Just put those things together. Okay, great. All right, so we've got some responses in now. Thanks, Shrek. So somebody says they used to do school, come home, watch 1 or 2 episodes of things, and then do schoolwork on a laptop. Another person says, yep, didn't used to have Netflix, didn't get it until lockdown. Also would love to hear from the older generation who might be prone to typing in the chat on YouTube. So if you want to let us know as well your thoughts about this and how your relationship with technology has changed, that would be great. But unless we've got any other comments,
We do. We have
goodness
quite
for
a
that.
few.
Tell us, Ollie.
Well, one says less frequent than now, but it was probably more leisurely back then, rather than sort of necessarily keeping in touch with people now.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Somebody said I use my phone a lot and watch lots of TV. Somebody said I saw it as more of a privilege back then.
Oh, interesting thought.
And then somebody said my screen time went from 1 hour to 7. Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite a considerable leap.
Gosh, it really did.
Go
on.
ahead. Oh, I was just the last one. And somebody said I didn't use my computer at all. All I used was my phone. And now I've been using my computer nearly every day to do homeschooling.
Okay. So thanks for all your feedback. Keep the comments coming. We're going to go into the second segment of our discussion now. Back to me and Charles.
So is it any wonder people are afraid of technology?
Technology. Good, bad, ugly, in between. What is it? I think there are some positives of technology.
Absolutely.
And I don't want anyone to think that we are bashing technology, especially the cameras, because we want you to keep rolling.
Yeah.
There's good technology. The fact that we can do this.
Absolutely.
And, we can do satellites live and all the rest of it, like technology
Kahoot.
is great. Kahoot! Where would we be without Kahoot?
Finally broke up. I'm sorry to hear that.
I think that means school.
Oh,
Oh, that's better.
okay. I feel much better about that.
That was a very, very short-term crisis, wasn't it?
The youth leader relief
I
is
started
just like
saying that and got concerned immediately.
The knowledge that we can learn from those quizzes. And, so there's good technology, the ICUs. That's a medical term. I have no idea.
Intensive care units.
Yes, and in terms of the NHS and this whole pandemic, where would we be without those medical machinery to help people stay alive and try and prevent, all sorts. So there's really good technology.
Yeah, and even entertainment, in moderation. Oh. It's amazing what we can enjoy now, as opposed to just a couple of decades ago. There's so much choice, but there's also I'm going to be on my hobby horse now, but the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The last 10 years has been full of all those great movies enabled by technology. They would have looked rubbish if they'd filmed them, before the current age of CGI and all the rest of it. So loads of great things about technology.
Yeah, and in this pandemic, there has been uses of technology, which has been brilliant. We get at Zoom and Microsoft Teams and the rest of FaceTime and all these ones because we're bored of it.
Yeah.
We'd much prefer to be in person and speaking to one another. But those haven't been able to see people. And there's a really good, like, I don't know about you, but I've seen people that live far away from me that I haven't seen for such a long time, because it's trying to find a date and a time and a place where you can actually meet up.
Yeah.
It's really difficult. But on Zoom, it's like, well, when you're free? Well, I'm free in the next 10 minutes.
I'm always free.
Yeah, when do you want to call? Like, we can do whatever. So there's something about the technology which is really, really useful. But as you say, there's also a danger that we can spend too much and actually become fatigued with it.
Yeah.
And particularly in lockdown.
So the question now is, how has your relationship with technology changed from before lockdown to now?
Really want to hear from some of our leaders and other adults watching, parents. Be really interested to know your response to this as well. So in some ways, I guess it's a bit obvious. We've had to do a whole load of extra things through screens over the last year. But what has that meant for your relationship with technology? So, she only really uses WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook for babysitting, YouTube, and the internet. But how has your relationship with the internet and technology changed, Hannah?
I mean, I spent lockdown in a different country, so I felt much less guilty about using technology because it was my only way to communicate with people. And I think that's the same for everyone. I think it's the only way you can talk to people, so then you feel less bad. On the flip side, I think there's two sides of technology, isn't it? There's the bit that allows us to talk to people and stay engaged with community, like WhatsApp and messaging and seeing other people's lives on Instagram, all of that stuff. But there's also the watching like 5 hours of, I mean, for me it's iPlayer, I don't have Netflix, or just scrolling for 5 hours during TikTok. And I think since I've been back in the UK in lockdown, I do that a lot more because there's nothing to do. So both. I don't need to move my head. Both things.
You can get sucked into, don't you always feel just really icky when you've just found yourself just looking at your screen and you've become hypnotized by it? And you just can't, do you know what I mean? You just lose track of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, and you feel like...
And an hour has passed and you don't know where it's gone.
Yeah, and you have that sense of like wasted and lost time. I don't know whether that is something that younger people than me in my advancing years experience. But certainly I always feel really frustrated with myself if I do that. Let's see if we've got some comments coming in so far. Ollie, feel free to jump in if you have some anonymous ones.
I do. Well, one set just says they launched Disney Plus, and I think that's all they really needed to say. And then we have one here that says the children's screen time limits are completely irrelevant now, while everything is online. Yeah, that's very true, because obviously, you got school and everything.
And just a comment on WhatsApp. Having been in lockdown and now starting to come out of it, any chance to get rid of technology, I will take. I'm kind of over it now. Yes, I think we all sort of empathise with that a little bit.
Someone else has said more as work is on there, but they're going to be moving house, and so there's going to be no Wi-Fi for a month.
Oh,
so that's like almost no tech for a month. I'm not sure what other people could cope with that. It's a scary world, isn't it, with no tech? It's a comfort blanket, I think. But you're right, Martin. You do find your time spent just scrolling. There's been a couple of times I've started leaving my phone outside my room so I don't take it into the room with me as much as possible. And there definitely have been days where I'm like, I don't know what to do. I've ended up finding like a ball and just like chucking it in the air for like 10 minutes going, this is fun.
Do you find yourself trying to levitate it with just the power of your mind?
No, that's just you. That's just you. Oh, are you making a joke about the fact that I'm Baby Yoda? Yeah, okay, fair enough.
The kids all got it. It was fine.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
Can I make a small recommendation to any adults watching? But also, I think this is really applicable to everyone. I think it's a rated 12 documentary, but there's a documentary on Netflix called The Social Dilemma, which talks to people who work inside the industry, so in Silicon Valley, as it were, and they developers who worked for Facebook and worked on Instagram. The guy who invented the like button, as if there's something, there's someone who invented the like button, and that's what he's famous for. And they basically are talking. It's a sort of cautionary tale about the other side of the business, like what technology is trying to get out of you and trying to do to you, and how technology is trying to manipulate you. And it's pretty scary watching, actually, but I think it should be required watching for everybody, because it opens your eyes to the sort of slightly unhealthy side of technology. And the fact that we struggle to stop scrolling, and the fact that we struggle to put the phone down, and we just get our attention grabbed by something, that's all by design. Like, someone has programmed those things in order to keep your attention there, and there's a reason behind it, and the reason is always because they're selling you to companies. I mean, not literally selling you to companies, that would be very dubious, but they're selling your kind of eyeballs. They're not selling your eyeballs, just to be clear. They're not selling your eyeballs to companies. Somebody help me.
Someone's put on the chat, they're agreeing with you, Martin, that it is designed for you to be sucked in, and people are relating with your icky feeling, and that idea of you get to a point where you just want to get rid of your phone and you want to get up and do something. But yeah, definitely, because it does suck us in, and having things to do it. Someone's saying they cancel Zoom meetings and have actual phone calls. Someone else is saying they have a lock on social media and things they can do to avoid that feeling of, what have I just done for the last 45 minutes of my life?
I love that phone calls are considered less technology based than Zoom meetings. Like, that's the step backwards because of what we're in. And I mean, phone calls are, back in like the 80s, if you were on the phone too long, your parents would shout at you. Isn't that right, Martin?
There's some great comments here from some of the leaders on the YouTube comments. So Ange says, Twitter's been a blessing and a curse, because you can spend an hour reading and reading and reading. And she's also confessed to started scrolling on her phone whilst watching TV. So the dual screening thing. That's
Yes.
How many people do that now as well? Like, I've seen, I'm not going to name any names, but I've seen young people playing video games and watching a sitcom at the same time, for example. And it's like, it's two loads of information going into your head at the same time. How healthy is that? Katie says, I've embraced the blessings such as video calling family and friends, but in many ways it's felt more lonely when contact with the outside world has only been through a screen. I miss face to face. And Jen says, I found setting boundaries around technology really helpful, just turning off Instagram notifications, carving out time without my phone, going for a walk, baking a cake, etc. So great comments, thank you.
I just had a last comment on the poll.ev saying it has changed. It's changed lots. I feel like most of my day now is spent on a laptop, whereas before lockdown we weren't using computers to do our work. But there's also the good side of technology, like speaking to family and friends. I think that one we can all sort of relate to, especially with school. Like, I always thought like going into the ICT, being able to like go on the computers was like the fun bit. But I guarantee I would hate that, to go and do that now, to spend another hour on a computer. So, there you go.
Absolutely. Shall we go to the third and final instalment of our what are we calling this? Is it a talk? It's not really a talk. It's more a
lessons
discussion.
from lockdown.
We've just done that. Come on then, let's have lessons from lockdown.
Okay, so we've talked about the positives and the negatives about this, but how does technology affect our spiritual lives? Now, in some ways, we have talked about the fact that you can use the Bible on your phone. Yeah. You can have audio dramas, whatever. And there's that amazing TV show called The Chosen. Is that what it's called?
Oh, yeah.
Which is like a dramatized version of the Bible, and it's meant to be amazing. And
it is amazing.
It's one of those ones that gets put on my watch list that I haven't managed to get around to, but I've heard really good things. So they're really positive things that can engage with your faith.
Yes.
But the danger is that technology takes over our faith, and we put it on a higher pedestal.
Let's be honest. I think as much as there's good stuff that you can use with your faith on your phone, it's massively outweighed by the distraction. So I would never recommend, just using Bible apps and prayer apps and things like that, because the temptation to just swoosh across and then look at your whatever, Instagram, is that what the kids are using? those feeds is so great that you're never really going to have your focus in the way that you would if you just went somewhere quiet with a pen, a notebook, and a Bible. So it's definitely not a replacement. It's not as good.
And also, like, the internet and technology, like, feeds our hearts with stuff that can be quite dangerous and quite be unhelpful. And in fact, it says this in the Bible. Above all, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4, verse 23.
Yeah.
And so we have to be really careful about what we're feeding our souls with. Like, is the technology and the stuff that we're looking at online, is that feeding our hearts negatively or positively? And I think we have to be quite grown up, I guess, and make that decision for ourselves. Yeah. And that's not to say cut it all out. Like, don't use it. As we've said, like, there's good stuff, and in moderation, these things are good. But if they are taking over your life, not good.
No. And so you always have to make that kind of decision about how much is too much. And the problem of the last year has been there's been no stopping cues. There's been no off switch for technology. Like, you are having your entertainment through technology, you're playing your games, you are going to school, you're doing work meetings, all this stuff happens through tech. And so how do you ever know, when it's time to turn the things off? And so the danger is, as we try and transition back into some kind of normal life, that we'll take too much of that kind of screen stuff back with us. And actually, relationships flourish much more when we look each other in the eye, when we're not looking at a screen and we're not conducting our relationships through a screen. And that goes for our relationships with each other as much as with God. So of course, there's lots of great stuff in technology, but we all have a really difficult kind of job to do over the next year, which is resetting ourselves, recalibrating the amount of technology in our lives, and it's going to hurt.
It is going to hurt. And it comes back to, again, satellites, putting God in the centre and not putting technology in the centre. So here's a hot take question, Martin. Has technology become an idol?
What's an idol, Charles?
Well, it's something that we worship. It's something that we bow down to and we dedicate our time towards.
Yeah. So the question again?
Has technology become an idol? Be confident.
You're a tiger, Charles.
Okay.
Okay, so has technology become... Do that again, Charles?
That was like the Thriller. No.
Has technology become an idol? I'm ignoring it. Has technology become an idol? What do you think, Hannah?
Yeah, I think for me it's very much in danger of becoming an idol. I think I've become aware of it, so I'm doing things to try and stop it. But it's still, I notice it in what my first priority is. When I get out of bed, it's my phone. As I'm going to sleep, it's my phone. If I'm on a break at work, I go on my phone. And it's very much, we've had a lot of time in lockdown, and I think I've filled it with technology a lot of the time.
Wow. Oh, that's
You
very
look
honest.
really serious like this.
No, that's very honest. I'm not going to make a joke. I'm not going to make fun of you, unusually, because I think it is really. I think it actually is. It's great that you're able to admit that, because I think many of us have just slightly lost our grip on like what normal is in terms of technology, and so this is a moment for us to. This is the point of this whole series, really. This is a moment for us to take stock and look at what we've been doing and say, is this actually how I want to carry on? Like, coming out of lockdown and going back into a normal life, do I want to go back to how things were? Do I want to take some of the things from this last year? Or do I want to learn some lessons from lockdown and maybe live slightly differently as a result? So no, that's really honest. So yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys whether you think technology has become a bit of an idol. And Charles did a little bit of clarifying of what we meant by that at the end there. But basically, it's something that takes such a central place in your life, it kind of becomes first priority, right? And so the thing we talk about in Satellites is, putting God at the center, making God your first priority. And so an idol is just something that takes that place of like your first place of attention and priority. So what do people think? You can let us know on the WhatsApp groups, or on the YouTube comments, or using Poll Ev, which only Ollie can see. And even then he can't see who you are, so it's very safe.
I have a wonderful answer that I'd like to share.
Oh great, why don't you read that
out? I wouldn't say an idol, because that's fairly over dramatic, but I feel it's become more of a need rather than a want. So that's good.
I would just say, when we say idol, it can sound, because your mind goes to Old Testament Bible gold statue, doesn't it? But actually, it can make it sound very dramatic and scary, and it shouldn't. There are so many little things we can do to make sure that it's not becoming that, and it's not becoming. All we mean is that, is it becoming central in your life? Because we wouldn't want our phones to be central in our lives, or technology. So there's so many little things we can do to stop that. And that doesn't mean it's a big, scary, we're not saying you're praying to your phones, we're not saying anything like that, but we're just saying, what are you giving your time and your energy and your thoughts to? Is it technology, or is it God? Is it your faith? Is it your family? What's taking that central space?
Interesting, because someone's put people don't worship technology, so that means it's not an idol, it's just a way of life, not an idol to pray to. And although I totally understand what they're saying, I think almost we do pray to it in some senses. We literally have Alexa and Siri. In many ways we do. Like, rather than going to God as our first point of call, like, Google's become the first thing that we...
Alexa is the last person and the first person I speak to in my day. So, it's sad.
Oh, I hope that came through on the sound. That is absolutely gold.
That's iconic.
Oh, that is lush. That is beautiful.
That is gold. So if you couldn't hear it, Ollie's Alexa just tried to join in. Now I'm tempted to see if Ollie's Alexa will hear me if I say Alexa enough.
He's probably wearing headphones now.
Yeah, he's probably wearing headphones.
Someone else has put, I think that it can be, but if we use technology for good and not for our guilty ways, then it cannot be. For example, seeing family via Zoom or live stream church. Yeah, and I think, we talk about that. It's not, I don't want anyone to think that we're bashing technology and saying technology is the devil. It's absolutely not true. And I think it's the same thing of, that quote which often gets misconstrued or misquoted from the Bible, which is, the root of all evil is money, and it's not. It's the root of all evil is the love of money. And I think it's the same thing of, there is evil if you put your first love is technology rather than God, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's very wise. Anything else from you, Ollie?
Yes, I have two more. One saying it should be a tool to achieve other things, but often becomes the focus and the center of the things itself. So
that
yes,
is golden.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, sums it up brilliantly. And then somebody saying, I don't think it is, but I spend most of my time on my phone and on my computers. There's no outdoor activities I can do at the moment, like rock climbing or swimming. Great activities, by the way. I don't usually go on technology a lot before lockdown, but I have a lot since.
Awesome. Right. Any other comments before we wrap this up?
Someone said on the chat that technology changes who you really are behind the camera. And I think that's very interesting and very honest as well. That's such a good thing to say.
And perhaps a comment on us this evening. Perhaps that's actually judgmental of our performances. Yeah. No, that's great. That is really honest. Thank you. So guys, I think out of tonight, what we want to encourage you to do is just think about how you use technology. The thing about technology is it's quite passive, so it uses you. Like, that's the whole point of that documentary that I was talking about, that technology begins to use you rather than us using it. And so you don't really know that you're falling into all these habits. And we laughed about it, Hannah, but the fact that you'd sort of not noticed all the other things that you used your phone for is a classic symptom of how technology works. Like, it lulls us in, it reels us in. And so I just encourage you, just think about how much time you actually want to spend on your phone, on a screen, and just stick to it. Like, set yourselves limits, and then, learn a bit of self-discipline around it. And that is something that I have to say to myself as much as to any of you guys. We definitely this doesn't get easier just because you're an adult. So for all of us, like, we need to definitely, as we come out of a time when we've had to depend on technology so much, think about how we want to use it going forward, rather than just passively sleepwalking into using it as much as we ever did.
But also be nice to yourself, and don't beat yourself up if you find it hard to give it up, because it is a little bit addictive. So don't get annoyed or frustrated. Just keep going and try to build habits, but it's okay if it takes time. Be nice to yourself. Have grace with yourself.
Well said. Cool, like good cop and bad cop. This could turn into something
I'm
wonderful.
funny cop. I just wanted to be part of it. I felt it's good.
You're weird baby cop. So,
Charles, yes.
Charles, why don't you do the final segment? Because everyone's excited about it.
What are you waiting for? Okay, it's time to get back on Kahoot and the knockoff version of Rank Your Fangs. What are you waiting for? Let's see what you are waiting for. Once lockdown is over, once pandemic is over, what are you looking forward to getting back to now that you're back at school? Well, some of you are. I know not everyone is, so I don't want to say that everyone's at school if you're not. Okay, people are joining. I don't know what to do in this bit. What do you do?
You just read out
Paul
who's
is
here.
back.
Yeah.
I love it.
Is that the secondinator?
Yes, he came second in the first one, so now he is the secondinator.
Okay. Let me just make this bit. Ferris Bueller. What a niche. Mega candles.
Well, I can do a mega candle if I just bring this
nearly,
really, really close.
Martin, I nearly brought a 4 and a 3 candle, but the cupcake wasn't big enough.
That's kind. Yeah,
it's all right.
Well, because I'm 34.
Yes. Why do you keep looking at the heatomizer?
Because I want to bring the heatomizer in somewhere, and
You've
also
developed an attachment.
I have. It's the only thing here. This centre has literally got nothing in it. There's no
relationship
people.
with technology is taking over his life.
Don't take away my heatomizer. It's called. It's not the heatomizer, which is quite a cool sound. It's heat miser, which I actually think it sounds like he doesn't like giving anyone any heat. He's the heat miser, and he tries to keep us all as cold as possible. He's
I'm
like
a bit
the
worried
guy.
how much you've thought this through.
Yeah.
Well, I've been alone for a long time. He's the guy that like tells you can't turn the heating on until October. That's what the heat miser does. That's what.
Is that you? Are
No,
you
I'm not a heat miser.
empathising with him? Do you see yourself?
I'm not a heat miser empathiser.
Someone's put it's a me, Ma, and I'm assuming they're going to say Mario because today's date is Ma 10, and it looks like Mario, and it's Mario Day. But it's also
that's cool.
my favourite fact that I discovered and Martin absolutely loves.
It's a me, Mario.
It's March the 10th, and if you shorten down March to Martin,
Yeah.
whose birthday is on Martin? Martin, how many is that?
First
Martin.
shout out you've seen for Falcon and the Winter Soldier there as well. Like, much respect for that, Marvel fans.
Yes.
Right.
let's
I've
get
got a
into
present as well. I just need to say I've got a present. So before we finish, don't let me forget to open my present because Charles dropped me a present round. Carry on.
Let's go. Warm the Scrooge.
Warmth Scrooge.
Let's get into it.
The heat miser.
Round 1. Ding, 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 ding. I'm just hitting the bell. Is barbecues versus picnics?
Ooh.
Which one? Barbecues versus picnics. And I assume barbecues means in your back garden, picnics outside. Sorry, I say picnics because of Yogi Bear. Oh. I don't know, boo-boo. I got a picnic basket.
Oh gosh.
Oh, Yogi. That's the other one. Barbecues and picnics, which one? Oh, you are.
Picnics.
Barbecues, 100%. I love a barbecue. If I could, all summer, if I could barbecue every night, I would.
I could see you there actually outside flipping a burger.
Just shoveling the meat.
Joe, where are the hot dogs? Joe, the burger's ready. The burger's ready, guys. Coming through.
I spend an inordinate amount of time flipping burgers because you don't really need to do anything, but it's an excuse to just stand and stare at heat and
What is
meat.
You and heat?
Yeah,
Heat is
but I'm not the heat miser, as we've
Someone
established.
raised a very good point. You can have barbecues now. Like
Yes,
you
you
can have
can.
barbecues in lockdown. So I guess it's about gathering people to your back garden.
Hey, get the guys round.
They bring a salad and
Get the lads round. Have a Dr. Pepper in one hand and a Diet Coke in the other. Have a barbecue. Great. Let's skip, Ollie. I think we've got people's answers.
Oh, ooh.
Barbecue's won out.
I'm
Interesting.
pleased. Pleased about that.
Okay, next. Let's go. The next one is going to live sporting events versus watching sports events with crowds on TV. And if there was an option for neither of those things, that is where I would end up. Martin, where are you at?
Well, I like watching sport on TV. I'm quite fond of it, and I do. Although you can hear a crowd sound, they've done a good job putting a crowd sound in. It's not the same as having all the fans kind of going crazy in the background. So I actually am looking forward to that, full stadiums without actually being in a full stadium. Does anyone, by the way, find that picture quite stressful?
Yeah.
You know, actually now it's so weird to think of all those people sort of squeezed together. Is that? I can't see if that is a crowd. It looks. I think it is a crowd.
I think Ollie's hand's in there somewhere. If we let's skip. Let's go. We've got a few more to get through. 18 people want to go to live sporting events.
Yeah.
Good on you. Okay. Third, sleepovers versus camping trips. Which one?
Camping trips. Oh.
See, I'm happy about camping trips except for the camping. If there was a way,
that is a very dangerous camping situation that she's having right there. She looks
Also
like she's on the
dangerous
top of a mountain.
sleepover.
Yes, it would be. Maybe it was a dangerous sleepover, but it went very wrong.
I know
Now
she's
it's
also
just
got a
her.
roll mat. However, I feel the lumps underneath her are fairly large. I don't think that's actually doing much. Like that's usually like a lumpy bit of grass or something. Not like a load of boulders. But you never know.
That.
Let's have a look, Charles. Ooh. Well, 58% said sleepovers. So.
That's one of the closest ones we've had, isn't it?
It is.
That was tough.
Okay, final one then.
Let's have a look.
Ooh, is hairdressers reopening versus zoos and theme parks reopening?
Well, they're quite different, those two.
I don't know.
Although they're linked by that wonderful picture of a horse with what looks like Donald Trump's hair.
And they're not too dissimilar. You sit down in a chair and you're in there for a ride, I guess, one way or another. I feel like it should be hairdressers because my hair is getting ridiculously long, but I love theme parks and I really want to go to a theme park soon.
Where's your money going?
Oh, theme parks. And then my luscious hair will be like floating in the wind.
On a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I love that. Don't sit
I'm
behind
never
Charles.
forgetting you describing your own hair as luscious. That's beautiful.
Great. Let's see. We've got 26 answers in.
Oh!
Uh-oh.
What do we do with that?
Skip. Pretend it didn't happen. Well, that's all we've got time.
We're going to have to put them both through.
I don't know. Yeah, fine.
We're
We've
gonna
done
have to
that.
put them
That
both
happened
through.
with Avengers,
Yeah.
if you remember. It was a massive upset.
They are both going through to the next round. That's amazing. Wow, how exciting.
Okay, great. Well, that is pretty much it. Martin, do you want to open up your present first, and then we'll...
Well, I don't know. I know you've got somewhere to be, Charles.
It's all right.
So
I can be late. It's okay.
I won't do the card because that only irritates people anyway, doesn't it? I'll just do that.
Oh, what could it be?
What could it be? Charles and I have got a little tradition in terms of birthdays and things, and I'm very excited to see what's in here.
Very exciting seeing
Oh, Ah, look at that! It's a Lego Stormtrooper face.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
And I don't know if you noticed the extra detail on it that I've added.
38 plus. He's added to the 8 there. Look at that. 38 plus. Oh, thanks, Charles. That's exciting. I shall build that. That's wonderful. With one of my children, probably.
It's 38 plus.
All right. So that's been a fun evening. Thanks everyone for joining us. We're going to do a few more of these before we're back in person after Easter. But it's wonderful to be with you like this every week. Who's going to pray at the end? Does anyone want to volunteer to pray? I feel like I'm in a Zoom prayer meeting suddenly. Charles is going to pray.
I'll pray.
Great.
Great. Dear Lord, thank you so much for tonight. Thank you for the fun that we've had and for the discussions that we've had and the amazing answers that we've had in return. I thank you for all our young people. I pray for them as they go back to school gradually over these next couple of weeks. And I just pray that your blessing will be with them, that they will feel your spirit with them. And I pray for technology as well, Lord. I pray that we'll become more aware of how much time we're spending on it. And I pray that instead of spending loads of time on technology, we spend more time with you. Help us to do that this week. In your name. Amen. Sorry, it's such a force of habit. I am so sorry. You are way old for that, but it just happens.
You're not, Baby Yoda. Right. That's it for another edition of The Mandalorian. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.